Greetings, creatures and humans alike. I am MagiQDog, and it has been a while since we've done a regular creature of the week. And I realize that my sound is completely off. Hang on just a second.
Testing, testing, testing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There we go. That's more like it, especially for this form. It'd be weird doing any other voice with this personalities. Anyways, greetings, creatures and humans alike. I am MagiQDog, and tonight on this creature of the week, we shall be talking about Scribble, 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 scribble. There we go. Right there. And the creature we'll be talking about is the Qilin. And I gotta say, I am really excited to talk about this creature because you often hear about something like this. Well, I mean, technically you do, but not into like a full depth dive. So let's go ahead and get started with this, shall we? The Qilin is a majestic and elegant draconic horse-like creature told in East Asian mythology. Appearance. The Qilin appears like a beautiful yet chimeric mix, with the main parts being that of an Asian dragon and that of a stag or horse. From the Chinese myths and texts, it is described as having the body of a stag, ox, or horse, the legs and hooves of a horse, the tail of an ox, and a dragon-like head that features a dragon horns, whiskers, and even a mane and beard around its head and neck. It's also covered in dragon scales from head to tail. And something that I forgot to write down, they are often described as having one singular horn, or sometimes they're depicted with two. Just depends on how they appear to be. Anyways, it's also covered in dragon... Wait, I already mentioned that. Scratch that. Sometimes this mane can even... sometimes the mane can even stretch down from its spine down to the tail. Its belly is also dragon, like that, yellow in color, while its scales are multicolored. However, the most surprising description is that the Qilin is surrounded by flames, always around the hooves or legs area. But these flames aren't flames, but are actually its pure aura that's emanating from its body. Role in mythology. The Qilin is always a being of benevolence and purity. According to East Asian legends, Qilins are a holy beast that either lives in celestial realms or in sacred places, like the Kirigu, the Korean sacred cave, or Kulu Mountain, the heavenly abode of the Chinese gods. No, we cannot eat it, Mr. Jax! We cannot do that whatsoever! By the way, welcome to the stream. Now, these creatures are said to be very gentle and pure beings to the point that they don't even harm any animals, not even an insect near them. Or they will walk without stomping on even a blade of grass to keep from crushing it. They are beings of purity, wisdom, tranquility, and peace. In fact, one of the main reasons why people don't often see Qilin is because they only appear during times of world peace. They also only appear whenever a child is born who is destined to become a wise and just ruler, or appears on lands where wise and benevolent rulers have already ruled, making a golden era for the land. Because of this, Qilins are seen as symbolic beings associated with emperors and rulers who are benevolent, just, and wise, who bring forth peace and prosperity. In fact, the first documented case... Mr. Jack, no, don't eat the Qilin. It's like a unicorn. Which I'm going to bring that information up in a bit, but don't eat the Qilin. The first documented case was back in 2697 BC, when a Qilin appeared on the Yellow Emperor's Garden. They are also beings of good omen, for whenever they appear, good fortune, peace, and harmony is brought forth to the land, and the people live happily and fruitful lives through the Qilin's presence. Now, yes, you can tame it. I will allow that. But, let's see. Another reason people don't often see them is because they aren't really from Earth. They are said to make their homes up in the heavenly realms like Kulu Mountain. They are said to be the pets of some gods, servants, steers to ride upon by the gods, or even act as messengers from the gods to rulers and sages. Another fact is that they are fully vegetarian as they do not harm any animals, not even the insects. This is why Qilins also have the power to walk on air, clouds, or even water to avoid stomping on grass and bugs. Another fact is that the Qilin is said to be one of the four holy beasts, representing the rest, alongside the dragon of the east, tortoise of the north, and Fenghuang of the south. I might have butchered that. I do apologize for that. No! No, Mr. Jax! No! Oh my god, don't tame it and then breed it to eat the kids. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on you. But, I do want to note that the four holy beasts are different from the four auspicious beasts, and the Qilin does not replace the white tiger, though some confusion may take place. And finally, Qilins are also considered the Eastern unicorns with their similarities and same purity concepts, plus the fact that many have a singular or two horns as well. Other Asian unicorns. Qilins have adapted another name for themselves, being called the Asian unicorns. This is due to how similar they are to the Western unicorns, for somewhat similar appearance to what they represent of purity and peace. Ooh, Mr. Chax, congratulations! You have hit a 3-stream streak! Nice job! But, yeah. But it's not too hard to see why. However, Qilins aren't the only one of this kind as the Eastern unicorn. There are other variants of Qilins that are told in other countries around China. First off, you got the Kirin, the Japanese version of the Qilin. It's similar to the Qilin, except its appearance is more of a deer and horse-like body, and its horns are backwards and curved. Next is the Girin from Korean myths. They appear the same, but with a more horse appearance with a crest of a deer. Chest of a deer, I bet. Some would even have lion-like traits as well. The Qilin of Thailand is pretty much like its Chinese counterpart, except they can have wings on their back, and they can also represent a defined elemental force and part of the Tibetan forest. Finally, the Vietnamese got the Ky'lan. Now this one is a bit of an oddball as it appears more like a dragon and got extra features as well, like a lion's nose, eagle's eyes, dog ears, crocodile mouth or claws, and so on. The Qilin seems to have a good-sized family of cousins throughout the Eastern world, but it seems that the Chinese Qilin is considered the first of its kind. Powers. As gentle and peaceful as this creature is, don't let that fool ya. If feeling threatened or need to, it can fight fiercely using its divine-like powers to bring forth harm to its wicked enemies. First off, they have a draconic beastly body which allows them super-level strength, speed, endurance, and physis. It also possesses a strong bite, and their scales being that of a dragon can also act as armor to protect them from attacks. Other than physical powers, they also have the ability to walk on both air, cloud, and water, giving them a wide terrain to travel through. Qilins are seen as beings of purity, peace, and serenity. As such, they possess powers to induce and grant blessings, serenity, and even bestow luck upon the people in the land. They can also see a person's morality and judge a person spiritually. They can also attack using a kind of heavenly spiritual flame-like aura to deliver powerful fire attacks. And finally, Qilins have been known as guardians to the righteous and to the innocent. As such, they should possess capable fighting abilities and guardianship to those in need, and being a punisher to the wicked. So yeah, watch out. Hear that, Mr. Chax? You may have a fight put up for you. Weaknesses. However, for those that do wonder about how to hurt a Qilin too got weaknesses one could use against it, even though it is wrong. For one, Qilins will not appear in lands and areas where many people are wicked at heart. No, don't eat them. No! Anyways, Qilins will only appear during time of peace or around people of pure heart. It's not known if it around being malice and evil forces would cause harm to the Qilin, but regardless, getting around morally bad and awful people would deter the Qilin altogether. Another weakness is its gentle nature itself. Quillins do not wish to fight or even harm any other animals. They don't even wish to harm an insect. Because of this, they won't harm you unless they have absolutely no choice. Finally, while normally you cannot harm a Qilin, there are exceptions through mystical events that can allow Qilin to be harmed. This fact was brought forth by the great Chinese sage and philosopher Confucius. According to legend, a Qilin appeared to his pregnant mom and coughed up a shade for her. Later on in life, that same Qilin was brought to him injured by a charioteer who apparently ran him over. Now the Qilin injured and brought over to Confucius was the foretelling of his own death. But regardless, it seems through the mystical foretellings of great rulers or sages dying, a Qilin can be in a weakened state that can allow one to harm or even kill it. And well, I am so sorry, I just said it right there. Anyways, and while not really told in myths and legends, I say having a divine being like a god could settle down or control a Qilin. This is some of the myths they are told as servants and act as messengers. Though in other times they are talked as if they are godlike beings themselves. So who knows? So there you have it. You have the means of capturing or even harming your Qilin. So why would you do that is a question only the gods know. Except for Mr. Jax. I think he just wants to eat it. I'm sorry, Mr. Jax. That just blows my mind that you want to eat a Qilin. Anyways, unicorn versus Qilin. Now, out of all the mystical creatures, the unicorn is one of the most iconic of them all. They are so iconic and widespread that there are variants in different species of each one. But why am I bringing this up? This is due to the Qilin and his family being known as the Eastern Unicorn. I mean, Qilins and their family are very similar to unicorns in similar build, lores, and even down to some abilities like guardianship. As such, it's easy to see how a Qilin is described as a unicorn. But is this true? Let's see some of the actual similarities and the differences between the Western unicorn and the Eastern Qilin. For similarities, both of them are described as elegant and pure animals with a single horn on their head. Both have an equine build with some chimeric body parts, like the unicorn with goat and stag features, and the Qilin with dragon and deer features. Both are said to be creatures of purity and serenity, and they are seen as symbolic creatures. Both even share a connection to the divine, with unicorns told to symbolize the presence of God, and Qilins being divine serpents and messenger steers. Both are rare creatures to behold, and both have ways to protect good people, with the unicorn's horn used to deter and cure poisons and wearing off evil, and Qilins bringing forth good fortune and protecting the innocent from evildoers. But that is where the similarities end, as the two creatures are now shown to be completely different with behaviors and legends. For the unicorn, they are considered wild and untamed animals who are nearly impossible to catch unless they use a pure maiden as bait. Qilins are seen as semi-divine beasts, whose appearance signalizes the rise of a great emperor or sage over the land. Not to mention their overall appearance, other powers, and how unicorns were hunted for their horns while Qilins was left alone. There's even the fact of more unicorn species than that of the Qilin as well. So whether you're on Team Qilin or Team Unicorn, both of these creatures are amazing and fantastic. Symbolism. Qilins have become more than beings of heavenly steeds or peaceful animals. Oh, no. As I mentioned before, these creatures are also beasts of symbolism. They are beings who are symbolic and are associated with many concepts, people, and even locations time to time. They are mainly symbolic for peace, serenity, wisdom, and prosperity. They are associated with rising great rulers and sages, important scholars and philosophers, and those who seek out justice. They are beings of good fortune, of protection and guardianship, and overall good morale and virtue. And as one of the four holy beasts, it also represents the direction west and is a sacred beast alongside a dragon, tortoise, and Fenghuang, or the Chinese phoenix. They have become a great staple to the China. Hang on, take two. Beep. They have become a great staple to not just China, but also to the Eastern world in general. They appear all over the royal palaces and royal locations of emperors and great figures of Chinese history. from statues to art, and even in literature and documented writing. Qilins are the fairy creatures who are so important and symbolic in Chinese myths and legends that they even rival some of the more famous Chinese creatures like the Long Dragons and Fenghuang, aka Chinese Phoenix. Popularity. And speaking of fame, Qilins have become vastly popular in media and pop cultures of the modern media due to their legends and appearance. They have appeared in movies, TV series, cartoons and animes, books, games, and more. With movies, the Marvel's Chang'e and the Tin Wings got Qilins as a majestic animal that lives in Ta Lo with other Chinese creatures. Fantastic Beasts, The Secret of Dumbledore, got a pair of Qilins, and they are explained in the Wizarding World. The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, had the Dragon Emperor turn into a Qilin-like beast to attack the old Conels. Or Conels, my bad. And not to mention the Japanese Krillin counterpart, who is featured in movies like 47 Ronin and The Great Yokai War. With TV series, the main one is pretty much Gosei Sentai Dai Ranger, where one of the Rangers is a Krillin themed one. For cartoons, there is My Little Pony, with some appearing in the 8th season as ponies with scales and a singular horn. Up next is the Kung Fu Panda, Legends of Awesomeness, where one befriended Po. And apparently there's also a more traditional one that appears in Kung Fu Panda Paws of Destiny. Next is Miraculous Ladybug. Miraculous! Anyways, this is where Marinette's mom was akumatized and became a Qilin-themed villain who was also named Qilin. And finally, in Abominable in the Invisible City, a Qilin appears to Young and her friends, which apparently I did not know about this series, so I may want to check that out. In anime and manga, you got the assassin named Qilin in Scissor 7, the Qilin demon from Fog Hill of 5 Elements, the Qilin yokai race like Kirin Maru in Inuyasha. In Naruto, Sasuke uses a lightning-style Qilin as a powerful lightning attack in the form of the beast. Digimon Data Squad got Kirinmon, who's also one of the 4 holy beast Digimon. One Piece got Saint Killingham, who ate the mythical devil fruit Qilin and can become a Qilin. Pokemon got Arceus and Suicune, who are similar to the Qilin. In the anime BTX, got a mini mecha that is based off of the Qilin. With video games, there are units that you can get in Asian mythology under Chang'e or Xuannu. Dragalia Lost got them as a race of antler people in a hidden elf village. Arceus and Suicune share some traits to the Qilin in Pokemon series games, and Krillinmon from Digimon games is Qilin inspired too. Ganyu is half Qilin, half human in Genshin Impact, which I did not know that, so that's pretty cool. World of Warcraft got Qilin creatures with avian feathers called Qilin. Monster Sanctuaries got Qilins as more like a unicorn except for the scales and cloven hooves. And Endless Nightmares got a demonic Qilin that is capable of summoning lightning bolts. There's also Kirins in games like Final Fantasy, Monster Hunter, Gale Wars, and more. They also appear in D&D and card games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering too. With books, the Books of Imaginary Beings by George Louis Borges features the Qilin and has some accounts of sightings, which includes Confucius' accounts. The 12 Kingdoms by Fuyo Ono got Qilins as antler horses who can shapeshift into humans and play a significant role in the story. William O'Connor's Dracopedius got them documented as a type of Arctic dragons that exist in Asian frozen areas. Dragon's Calling by N.R. Phyllis Smith got them similar to the myth, except for they have affiliated with water and have healing abilities. Across the Green Grass Field by Sam McGurr got Qilins as a sentient unicorn living in Hoofland. And finally, the 16th century Fengxin Yangying by Xiu Xionying. I do apologize if I butchered the name, by the way. Anyways, in this story, there are actually 2 Qilins that are mounts, with a black color Qilin as a royal mount to Wang Xiong, and a shade color one to Yun Taiyun. Qilins even appear in other forms of media, like how the U.S. Pacific University uses a Qilin as a mascot, and the once popular ex-Hololive VTuber member, Fauna Ceres, it's a nature spirit type of Qilin. But yeah, that's pretty much that. And finally, to wrap this all up, y'all didn't see that. Anyways, alright, let's wrap this up. Qilins are so far one of the most majestic and purest creatures in Chinese myth. They are praised by the people as they bring forth peace, fortune, and even bring forth great emperors and sages. These holy beasts were regarded as the eastern unicorns, or as pure and gentle as the clear lakes and breezy clouds they can walk upon. So count yourself lucky. Well, I butchered that. Well, count your lucky stars if you happen to have a Qilin stand before you, for you will have a wonderful life and even rise up to become a great ruler. And that concludes the Qilin. So, what do you guys think of these majestic unicorns? Do you think they're actually similar to unicorns? Do they really bring forth peace and prosperity to land? Would you like to ride one and kind of keep one as your own mounted pet? Let me know in the comments section whenever I upload this on YouTube. And that pretty much concludes our creature of the week. And I'm glad you had so much fun, Mr. Chax. I really enjoyed talking about this creature as well. Now, the next creature that we're going to be talking about is more of a modern mythical creature. One that's kind of like a sentient slime. So if you guys know of a creature I'm talking about, I hope you guys are excited for next week. I don't think the Qilin will let you do that, Mr. Chax. I think at that point you have a fight on your hands with it. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Now, I do plan on doing like another short stream coming up in the next 30 minutes or so. Just gotta kind of get everything prepared for that. Oh, hey, Knight. How you doing this fine night? Sorry about this, Mr. Knight, but I'm gonna have to close out this stream right here. However, if you want to give me the next 30 minutes, I'll be able to do that Indigo Park Chapter 2 trailer reaction. Because I do want to see about that. But yeah, we just finished talking about the Qilin and all the fascinating facts about it. But yeah, in order to get prepared for that stream, we gotta close out this one. So with all that out of the way, thank you guys for coming on this fantastic Creature of the Week stream. I hope y'all had as much fun as I did. We got to learn about the Qilin in their peaceful and serenity way. And if you wish to check out more of these stuff, check me out on my Twitch page, check me out on Twitter, check me out on my main YouTube channel, and check me out on my Game and React channel. And leave a like and subscribe for that too. And with that, I bid this show adieu. But like I said, give me 30 minutes for y'all that are on Twitch, and I'll be back with some more stuff. But until then, so long. See ya. Bye-bye. Okay, bye.